Значит, они делают правильно, и мы будем бороться за первое место в рейтинге.
Islam Makhachev has now agreed to a highly anticipated showdown with Ilia Topuria as he aims to reclaim his top spot in the pound-for-pound rankings. Ilia Topuria recently claimed the lightweight title by defeating Charles Oliveira at UFC 317, which earned him the #1 ranking that Makhachev previously held. In response, Makhachev suggested that Topuria's rise to the top was partly a promotional tactic by the UFC to build excitement around their upcoming fight. Although he doesn't fully agree with this approach, Makhachev acknowledges the strategy and emphasized that the definitive pound-for-pound best fighter will be decided inside the octagon. Makhachev is zeroed in on becoming a two-division champion and recently appeared at UFC Abu Dhabi, where he hinted at plans to achieve that milestone soon. Meanwhile, Luke Rockhold shared his views on a potential matchup between Makhachev and Jack Della Maddalena, calling it a challenging and thrilling contest. Rockhold named Makhachev, Topuria, and Della Maddalena as his top 3 favorite fighters currently in the UFC. While he recognizes Della Maddalena's wrestling skills, Rockhold highlighted Makhachev's extensive background in wrestling and grappling as a significant advantage. He also mentioned that Della Maddalena's larger size could pose some challenges for Makhachev as he moves up in weight. Having trained with Makhachev before, Rockhold noticed that Makhachev appears considerably bigger now and is eager to see how he adapts to competing at welterweight.
Что ты думаешь по поводу того, что тебя сместили внезапно с первой строчки pound-for-pound?
Ну, это маркетинг. Они делают это специально, чтобы разогреть этот бой. Ну, у людей уже есть интерес к этому. Значит, они делают правильно, и мы будем бороться за первое место в рейтинге.
Daniel Cormier feels that Islam Makhachev's striking skills are often underrated. He highlighted Islam's recent fight against Dustin Poirier, where Makhachev clearly won every round in a predominantly striking contest. Despite this, Cormier noted that many still act as if Poirier performed well. In his view, the fight was a clean sweep in Islam's favor, capped off with a submission finish. Cormier believes Islam's dominance is sometimes overlooked simply because he makes his victories look effortless. He also mentioned that the real test for Islam will come at welterweight, where opponents won't be undersized like those in the lightweight division. Arman Tsarukyan also shared his thoughts on Islam Makhachev's growth since their first encounter. He highlighted significant improvements in Islam's striking and clinch techniques, as well as a major boost in his cardio, which used to be a weakness but has now become a strength. Arman stressed that the biggest factor in Islam's development has been the increase in his experience over the years.
Do you see him beating JDM to win that welterweight title?
It's a tough fight. That's a very tough fight. It's going to be interesting. You know, I think those are my 3 favorite fighters in the UFC right now. We go Islam, Topuria, and JDM. He's fun to watch. So, I mean, that's going to be a great fight. You know, he's no slouch at wrestling, but you have a guy that's wrestled his whole life and grappled his whole life versus JDM. He's kind of like, he's secondary on that, but, you know, you never know. He's a bigger guy. So, you know, we'll see how Islam, how he bulks up and how he looks. He looks a lot bigger than what I remember. I used to train with him forever. So, I mean, he's definitely grown. You know, we'll see how he carries the weight.
Arman Tsarukyan also weighed in on the possibility of a title clash between Islam Makhachev and Ilia Topuria. He described the matchup as a challenging and evenly matched fight. While he commended Topuria's boxing and striking skills, Arman noted that Topuria has yet to face an opponent with the high-level wrestling expertise that Makhachev brings to the cage. Arman Tsarukyan believes that both he and Islam Makhachev would present tough challenges for Ilia Topuria. He pointed out that Topuria has yet to face many elite wrestlers, aside from Bryce Mitchell, whom he was able to handle. However, Arman is confident that against someone like himself or Islam, Topuria would be taken down and controlled relatively easily. At a press event, Arman stated, Topuria hasn't faced strong wrestlers except Bryce Mitchell, and he managed to take him down and keep control. He added, I'm certain that wrestlers like Islam and myself can bring him down and dominate on the ground. Meanwhile, Aljamain Sterling praised Topuria's well-rounded abilities, highlighting how Topuria has convincingly defeated some of the sport's top competitors. Sterling also referred to Islam's first bout with Alexander Volkanovski, noting that it was a surprising challenge for Makhachev.
Islam. He's a much better striker than people give him credit for. He won all the rounds against Dustin Poirier in a fight that was pretty much all striking. Everybody's like, well, Dustin Poirier fought him so well. He didn't. It was literally 5 rounds to 0 and he got submitted.
It's almost like Poirier got his looks, but he got dominated.
He got beat. Because Islam's been so good, people judge him differently. I think there are way more interesting fights for him at 170 because of the size difference than there is at 155. Because right now, when was the last time he had finished someone? He finished Charles for the belt.
Volk.
He fought Volk. That was close. Didn't finish him, and the second time
Volk.
he finished Volk.
Second time, finished Moicano.
Finished Moicano. Finished Dustin Poirier. He beats them all because they're too small.
Aljamain Sterling commended Ilia Topuria's well-rounded skill set, pointing out that Topuria has convincingly defeated some of the best fighters in the sport. Sterling highlighted that, unlike Alexander Volkanovski, who lacked a traditional wrestling background, Topuria comes from a Greco-Roman wrestling foundation and also possesses strong jiu-jitsu skills. From a stylistic standpoint, Sterling finds the potential matchup very intriguing and wonders if Islam Makhachev could rely on anything other than his size advantage to secure a victory.
How much better do you think Islam's gotten since your debut, where you fought him?
Yeah, he improved his striking, very good, his clinch, his cardio. He used to have bad cardio, his cardio way better. And his experience, of course, the most important thing.
Tony Ferguson recently offered some advice to Islam Makhachev about moving up in weight class. He explained that when a fighter steps up in weight, their body needs time to adjust and reach a state of balance, known as homeostasis. Tony emphasized that this adjustment period is crucial for peak performance. Without it, the body might struggle to function smoothly. He compared it to an elevator constantly jolting up and down. Ferguson said, "I gave Islam some advice, and I know people really listen when I do. My advice was simple. Get to that weight and stay there for a while. When you jump from 155 to 170, your body isn't ready. It has to carry more weight and needs time to adapt. Like I've said before, when someone like Nate is cutting a lot of weight, the body has to reach a level where it stabilizes and functions properly. Once you hit that point, everything starts firing the right way instead of hiccuping like an elevator going up and down."
If Islam and Ilia fought for the title, how do you see that one playing out?
It's a tough fight. Ilia, better striking, good boxing. He never fought with guys who can wrestle very well like Islam. So we'll say it's a 50-50 fight.
Do you think they're going to give Ilia the opportunity to fight Islam for the title if it's not you?
I think so. I'm open for everybody from top.
Meanwhile, Dustin Poirier shared his thoughts on a possible super fight between Ilia Topuria and Islam Makhachev. He described the matchup as a big leap because of the size difference, while acknowledging Topuria's power and technique, capable of knocking out opponents from featherweight up to welterweight. Poirier pointed out that Islam is a large, strong lightweight with elite wrestling skills. Poirier suggested that Topuria should remain at 155 pounds for now, defending his title several times before moving up to face a fighter like Makhachev.
Pose a huge risk for Islam. Do you think he would be the toughest test for Islam at 155 right now?
Well, the first fight with Volk gave him a big surprise. Arguably even won the fight. I watched that fight probably 5 times and I go back and forth. I'm like, I just felt like Volk won, but I'm not a judge. I don't know if that's biased because I just was hoping for the underdog to win. But just based on what I was watching, I thought Volk did enough to get it 3-2 or maybe even a draw. I think Ilia Topuria has beaten some of the greatest in unreal fashion, and I think that's undisputable to anybody. And he can wrestle. He doesn't need to do like Volk. Volk's never actually wrestled like traditionally to have that base. Ilia actually has that, even though it was Greco. He has really good jiu-jitsu. It's a very compelling fight. From a stylistic approach, it's just like, well, what does Islam do other than just being the bigger guy?
Michael Chandler shared his analysis of a potential fight between Islam Makhachev and Ilia Topuria, highlighting Islam's clear size advantage. He recognized Topuria's superior striking skills, praising his patience and knockout power on the feet. However, Chandler cautioned that if Makhachev manages to take Topuria to the ground, the dynamics would shift significantly due to Islam's elite grappling and physical strength. In the end, Chandler favored Makhachev as the likely winner because of his size, experience, and track record of title defenses, though he emphasized that Topuria shouldn't be underestimated.
Who should be next for Ilia? 55 has always been so cloudy at the top. Maybe Gaethje. I think him going to 170 to fight Islam, if Islam wins, is a stretch. You know, Islam's big, man. I've never seen Ilia in person, but he seems smaller. I know obviously he can knock anyone out. I do think if they fight, Ilia can knock anybody out from 45 to 170. He has the skills, the power, the technique, and but we've just never seen him in there with somebody that big and somebody with that caliber of wrestling. But I think he should defend the 55 title a few times before that's talked about. We'll see.
Despite all the buzz around a potential fight between Islam Makhachev and Ilia Topuria, Khabib Nurmagomedov considers Jack Della Maddalena to be Islam's toughest challenger to date. He believes Della Maddalena poses a greater threat than Charles Oliveira, Ilia Topuria, or any other opponent. Khabib highlighted Maddalena's size, power, boxing skills, and solid grappling as key factors. He also mentioned that preparing Islam for a bout against Maddalena would be more challenging and exciting than getting ready for a fight with Topuria.
If Islam fights Ilia, I mean, I think there's definitely a size difference. I think Ilia is a lot smaller than Islam. Islam is a big lightweight, a tall lightweight, and he's good in every area. However, Ilia's definitely got the edge in the striking department, and Ilia is very, very, very patient. Now, if he's able to not get taken down and he's able to just patiently break down Islam with those big shots that he lands, the big punches that he lands, it's going to be a good night for Ilia. But I think if Islam gets his hands on him and gets him taken down, I mean, grappling with 145-pounders is a lot different than grappling with Islam, who is one of the best grapplers that we've seen in a very long time. He's strong.
However, Ilia Topuria brushed off Khabib Nurmagomedov's claim that Jack Della Maddalena would pose a tougher challenge to Islam Makhachev than he would. He responded, "What else is he going to say?" While he didn't take the comment too seriously, Ilia did express interest in facing Jack down the line. Confidently, he said he would light him up, but also acknowledged Jack's size and threat, especially if Jack manages to beat Islam first.
Мое мнение. Ни Чарльз, никто. Ни один из этих бойцов.
И даже не Илья, если бы это бой был бы.
Ну, мое личное мнение, во-первых, Мадалена 2 раза больше, чем Илья.
Сопоставим.
Илья. Он 2 раза больше. Он выше, больше, ноги помощные, корпус, бокс не хуже. И грэпплинг он возится очень хорошо, если вы смотрели. Ну, для меня, если я например, буду готовить Ислама против Илья или Мадалины, для меня больше будет волновать и волнует
Javier Mendez also supported Khabib Nurmagomedov's assessment that Jack Della Maddalena is the toughest opponent Islam Makhachev has faced so far. He emphasized that this fight is far from straightforward and described it as one of the biggest challenges he and Khabib have taken on as coaches. Mendez noted that if Islam manages to make the fight look easy, it will be the result of flawless preparation and capitalizing on the right moments during the bout. He showed great respect for Jack and his team, highlighting their strong mental focus and readiness for the challenge.
Yeah, and the guy he's fighting right now, Jack, is he's a big fucking guy too, right?
Wow, just imagine if Jack beats Islam. That fight would be great.
Javier Mendez also cautioned against underestimating Jack Della Maddalena, describing him as a very dangerous opponent. He stressed the importance of approaching the fight with the right game plan, warning that if they don't, Islam might lose his chance at another title shot and have to climb the ranks from the beginning again. Mendez said, "Jack Della Maddalena is a dangerous fighter. We need to prepare properly or there won't be a next time. You'll have to start over and climb the ladder once more." Israel Adesanya predicted that Jack would finish Islam Makhachev, expressing doubt that Islam could handle Jack's scrambles and recoveries once he's back on his feet. Adesanya showed full confidence in Jack and said he's excited to see the fight no matter where it happens, promising to be there in person. He said, "I don't think Islam will be able to deal with Jack's scrambles or when he gets back up. I truly believe Jack will get him, and I can't wait to see it happen. Wherever it is, I'll be there." Similarly, Robert Whittaker believes Jack Della Maddalena has the tools to beat Islam Makhachev. He pointed to Jack's size, build, and underrated jiu-jitsu skills. Whittaker said Jack is tough to keep grounded, which could cause problems for Islam. He also emphasized Jack's sharp striking, especially his body shots, noting that if Jack targets the body effectively, it could make it much harder for Islam to execute takedowns.
Why does JDM beat Islam in your opinion?
I can see the fight playing out very much like it did with Volk, but Jack's bigger. He's got a different frame. He's a hard dude to try and hold down. I think his jiu-jitsu is very underrated. He has good jiu-jitsu. Who'll give him? Not to mention, Jack has really good hands. If he can work the body, which makes it harder to shoot on, to give Islam trouble.
Alexander Volkanovski broke down the upcoming matchup between Jack Della Maddalena and Islam Makhachev, highlighting how Jack's recent fight against Ball served as ideal preparation. He noted that successfully defending takedowns in that bout gave Jack a significant boost in confidence. Volkanovski believes Jack's takedown defense has improved to the point where even elite grapplers would struggle to take him down or keep him grounded, both in training and during the fight. He said, "Jack's fight against Ball was the perfect warm-up for this one. Being able to defend takedowns is huge because every fighter, no matter how skilled, has those nagging doubts. What if he takes me down?" I'm sure Jack had those thoughts too, but since he was able to stop takedowns and remain comfortable, it's clear he's leveled up. His confidence in defending takedowns has grown considerably heading into this fight. That's all for today's breakdown. Feel free to share your thoughts and predictions about this matchup in the comments below.